what we're going to talk about today, what we'll hopefully learn about today, what SEO is and why it's important, how search in general has evolved over the years. Who's been involved in digital marketing for at least 3 years? I see a show of hands. Who's been involved in digital marketing for at least 5 years? 10 years? How about going back 15, 20 years, the dark ages of digital marketing? It has evolved constantly in that time frame. And I say this and I say it and mean it. If you are an expert today, you won't be an expert 6 months from now if you don't continue to learn. If you were an expert 6 months ago, you're not an expert today. You've got to always evolve. You have to always change. It's constantly shifting. We have to keep getting better and better. And if you're not getting better and better, who is? The competition. You're exactly right, Eugene. So the bottom line is, and we talked about this last time, you don't have to be the world's greatest expert. You don't have to be the leading authority on SEO. One thing we want you to do today, just come away from this and be just a little better. Or, even more importantly, be just a little better than your competition. If you do that, you've accomplished a lot. What we're also going to talk about, what do you need to do in order to do SEO well? A lot of people do SEO. It doesn't mean they're doing it well. Also, what are the basic foundations of strategy? Just like anything else in marketing, it starts with a strategy. You've got to have a plan. Can you not have a plan and do well? Yeah, mistakes happen all the time. People win the lottery every day. I wouldn't bank on it, though. I would focus on doing things well, having a strategy, making sure it's not a mistake if you do a good job. And then basically how to track, how to measure SEO. And lastly, we're going to ask you to keep an eye for that icon. It's BS myths and misconceptions about SEO. Does anyone know what BS stands for? It's bovine stuffing. All right, we're going to refer to it as bovine stuffing. So I was talking to my kids. I have twins that are in 7th grade. And I'm saying, look, I need a G-rated version of what BS is, because we're saying BS. I don't think we're offending anyone. If we are, I'm sorry. But it basically means things that people have been feeding you, people have been telling you. They may be telling you, oh, you wouldn't understand this, or it's complicated, or we can't do it because it costs too much money, or we'll never figure it out. It'll never work. It's snake oil. I tried it. It didn't work. BS. SEO is another marketing strategy to help you improve. And everybody can figure it out. Everyone can do it to an extent. Or if you can't do it, you need to learn what questions to ask of the people that are doing it to make sure you're getting the most out of the money you're spending or the time and effort you're investing in SEO. So what is it? SEO is the practice of increasing organic, which is non-paid traffic, from search engine results. It's convincing search engines that you have the best and the most relevant answers to your audience's question. The bottom line, when you do a search, Google is the grand poobah. Google generally decides where that search is going to go, whether it goes to your website or whether it goes to someone else's. In the grand scheme of things, does Google care if they send someone to your website or your website? No. What does Google care about? Google cares about Google. You're absolutely right. Yeah. What were you going to say? All right. That you like them, that you use them. What else does Google care about? Google wants to do it right. Google wants to make sure that they send someone to the most relevant search. Why? Because if Google doesn't have trust, if Google doesn't have authority, if Google's getting tricked or Google's messing up too many times, are they going to be number one? So Google doesn't care who they send them to. They care that they send them to the right people. Your job in SEO is to convince Google that you're the right people. If someone's doing a search and they want something that I do, I'm the right person to send them to because I'm going to take care of them. I understand where they're coming from. I understand their needs. I understand their concerns. I'm the guy or I'm the website that can solve their problems. Does that make sense? It is really just that simple. Now, it's a complicated way to get there. There's 1,000 things to do. Does anyone know how many, sorry if I'm going to leave my water here. Is this okay?
I'm a lefty, so
all right.
I
I know. I like to live on the edge, okay? How many items does Google look at before they determine where a search is going? Anybody, an idea? Google has over 200 items that they look at before they determine a search. And how quickly do they determine that search? Microseconds. So they have formulas, algorithms, and it can get complicated, but it still comes down to doing certain things well. Our first BS icon. SEO is just Google Ads, okay? I've heard that from a lot of clients over the years. We talk to people and we talk about SEO and we talk about, look, you've got to have SEO, and people say, I did SEO. It didn't work. What they did Google Ads. And Google Ads is another word for what? Search engine marketing or pay-per-click. Google Ads and pay-per-click are synonymous. And remember, when you talk about, now, pay-per-click helps you, okay? It helps build authority, but it's not SEO. SEO is non-paid and it's organic. It means that it's going to show up in the search and no one had to pay for it. It was what Google determined to be the best answer for that question. And Google Ads don't help your rank. They're not going to help with ranking to get somewhere. They help with authority. They're helpful, they're good, they're useful, they have a role, but they're not SEO, just to be clear. So when you see that BS, or next time someone says that, tell them it's BS. Tell them, no, don't do that. Tell them you heard it right here. Chris DeMeo says it's BS, okay? Other BS. SEO isn't necessary. Oh my gosh, all you need to do is put up a website. If you build it, they will come. There may have been a time where that was okay. There may have been a time in the dark ages of just a few years ago where if you were somewhat unique, if you built a site, people would find you. Why is that not the case anymore? There are just too many websites out there. There are too many people that do what you do. There are too many competitors out there. There are over 1.6 billion websites today versus a mere 17 million in 2000. Back in 2000, we'd say, oh my gosh, there are 17 million websites. That's nothing. Today, 1.6 billion. How are they going to find you? Why is SEO important? Because Google alone gets 63,000 searches every second. As long as it took me to say that, there where I'm not that smart in math, 3 times 63,000, okay? 189,000 searches in that amount of time. 89% of customers begin their buying process with a search engine. And 20 times, SEO provides 20 times more traffic opportunity than paid search. People ask all the time, should we do paid search or should we do SEO? What's the answer? Who said it? Both, if you can. They both have a place. What do people trust more in general? SEO. Because SEO is supposed to be unbiased. SEO isn't who paid the most or who positioned themselves best. SEO is who had the best answer in the eyes of Google. So generally, it has a little bit more credibility. Not always, but generally. And if you can do both, to your point, that's the best way to do it. So the evolution of search. Search has changed quite a bit over the years. Again, who's been doing this for more than 10 years? Lisa, you and I have for a long, long time. Not that long for you. Long time for me, right. Well, she was just a kid when she started. Question. Who's responsible? Like, they are the people that actually do the SEO, they actually do the work on the website, they're actually doing the posting, things like that. Who are the doers in the room? Can I see a raise of hands? So a good amount. Who is the person that is responsible for checking to see that it's done, putting together strategy, reporting to the board? Who's on the management end of that? So 50, and some of you are both. I saw some of you raise your hand both. Okay. Years ago, exact keywords were the way it is. Nowadays, it's semantic intent. And let me be very clear. Keywords are important, but keywords are not the end-all, be-all. Keywords are basically the starting point. They're the compass. But the intent is really what matters, and there's many things you can do, to help you with that intent. So 15 years ago, if you wanted to come up with an Italian restaurant, you had to be so specific, and you had to have these specific keywords. You had to say, best Italian restaurants, plus 5 stars, plus Lancaster, PA, if you wanted to find a 5-star Italian restaurant in Lancaster County. And that's how we had to search if we wanted to find something that specifically. 5 years ago, we thought we had it all figured out. Oh my gosh, best Italian restaurants, and Google had all kinds of things figuring that out. Google keeps getting smarter and smarter. All you had to do was that, and it would show up. Now, what do you have to do? Best Italian. Why? Google's starting to figure out what it is you want. Okay? That doesn't mean that we as marketers have it so much easier now. It's gotten more complicated because we have to make sure that we support that. And years ago, who remembers the days of a company would come to you and say, look, I'm going to guarantee you'll be on the first page of Google, and I understand the formula. I used to work for Google. I heard that I used to work for Google, so I know exactly how this works, and all we need to do is keyword stuff, and we're going to put this word in here, this word in here. We're going to hide words in your text. We're going to put it in the pizza. Does anyone remember those days? Does that work today? What happens if you do that today? You get penalized. They put you in the penalty box. Google says, we figured that out. You're not going to do it. So anyone that's telling you they've got it all figured out and all you need to do is stuff these keywords in there is not helping you. They're going to hurt you. Again, back in the old days, it was all about, you used to put all these keywords in, and you wanted to rank in these blue bars. And that's what it was all about. How many blue links can you get in there? Nowadays, it's position 0. And the difference nowadays is you don't have to try and get in that blue bar. It's not about how many search links do you get. It's about knowledge packs. It's about Google Maps. It's about snippets, smart content. These are all things that help support your SEO. Does everyone recognize that from searches? That's how people are finding what they're looking for nowadays. Then versus now. Back in the old days, it was all about the desktop. Now it's about what? Mobile. What does Google look at first as a rule? Mobile. Google's going to see what's going to be a good result. And search depend on where you are, what device you're using, and more than half of Google searches nowadays are on mobile devices. And what's making a huge charge for that? Voice search. Why? How do you look for things nowadays? How do you figure things out? How do you ask questions nowadays? Who has Alexis in their home or something like that? Who uses voice on their phone when they're driving? Let's hope you are. Let's hope you're not doing anything else. Okay? More and more that's continuing to expand. In the old days too, it was just all about who's going to rank #1 on Google. Now understand, I'm not saying that you don't have to rank. I'm not saying that you don't have to show up in searches. I'm saying that it's not the #1 factor. People tell us all the time, well, I talked to a company and they guarantee me I'm going to rank #1 on Google. You're going to rank #1 for what? It's not so much about what kind of keywords am I doing to get #1. It's about how easy is it for the right audience to find you. And what information did you put in so that you could be found? And here's the thing. No one can guarantee rankings on Google. All right? Has anyone in here ever heard that? Who's been solicited and someone said, I guarantee you'll be #1 on Google? How many people think they got a phone call from Google? Because it happens all the time. People call me up and say, oh yeah, a guy from Google called. He wants to charge me X amount of dollars to do this, this, and this. Can I fill you in on something? Google does not call. Google will not call you. Google will not call to solicit. Google is not the one telling you, pay me $250 a month and I'm going to straighten this out for you. It really doesn't work that way. It's the same as if the IRS were to call you and say that. They don't do it, okay? Talking about SEO, there are certain things that you need to have to produce SEO. Who feels they have a really good website? Can I get a show of hands if you think you've got a great website? It's okay to say it. I'm looking to see if any of my clients are in here. Okay, good.
I'm not sure yet.
Okay, yeah, right, we're building one, so you'll let me know. One of the best prerequisites you can have for SEO to be found, to be relevant, is a good website. So if people are telling you that, if you're approaching people about SEO and they're coming back to you and they're saying, look, I'm not going to get good results for you on SEO, or I'm not sure I can get good results for you on SEO unless we redo your website, or unless we make changes to your website. Please don't think that someone's just trying to take you. Please don't think that they're just trying to produce a bill, create something that doesn't exist. And I guess I should change the slide. A good website is a very good prerequisite to doing SEO. Why? Because it needs to be well designed in order to rank effectively. It has to function properly. It has to have a good user experience. And that's before we get to anything else. Google does look at that, and they do take into account good user experience. So again, I think we talked about, is anyone in here someone that attended our website presentation? A few of us, okay. In that, we talked about how you've got to have the best website you can have. I'm going to say it again. You don't need the world's greatest website. You don't have to spend a fortune on your website necessarily. You don't have to have a second mortgage taken out for you to get a website, but you've got to have the best website you can afford to have. And if nothing else, if you're not investing, invest in your website first, then everything else follows suit. Yes, you have to promote it, but you've got to start with a really good website first. Another thing too, we hear this all the time when Google calls. Google's telling you that what we're going to do is you pay us a couple $100, and again, because we're friends with Google, because we know Google, I have to find my water, we're going to submit your site to Google so they know where you are. Let me say this. Google crawls the web frequently. Google knows you're there. And you should help Google. Again, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you shouldn't do anything. But it helps Google by submitting a sitemap. And you let them know, hey, look, something has changed on our site. You should crawl this. Okay? And if you need help with how to do that, let us know. We're happy to help with that kind of stuff. But here's what you need to remember. And people say, well, Chris, you just said that Google knows I'm there. Just because Google knows you're there doesn't mean that Google is going to pay attention to you. All right? SEO is getting Google to pay attention to you. Another prerequisite, you've got to have good content. You need to provide answers and solutions to what your audience is searching for, okay? How do you provide good answers, good solutions? How do you pose those questions? How do you offer solutions? It's in your website copy. It's in your blog posts. Show of hands, who for their company blogs frequently? If you raise your hands high, if you're doing it, you're doing a good job. Congratulations. What does frequently mean? Lisa, how often is frequently for Kitchen Kettle? 3 times a month? Okay, good. Anybody else frequently? Once a month? A couple times a month? Okay, good. So content means images, video, blogs, information on your website. You've got to be able to have that. Why? SEO needs good content in order to be found. It can't be one or the other. Good content needs SEO, because what good is having a great story if no one hears it? SEO helps that good story be found. The other end of that is, okay, you can be found for what? You've got to have the good content to put it out there. Yes?
Question. So going back to 2 slides about the sitemap. So
Yes.
even if you don't submit a sitemap, but you're making regular updates
Yes.
to your website, Google will still acknowledge those by just crawling the site.
Yes.
Is it weekly? Or
Google, great question. Google will find you usually in a couple weeks. Sometimes it finds you quicker than that. So we generally recommend, if you're making changes, submit the sitemap, and you submit that through Google Search Console. So you go into your Google Search Console and you let them know, hey, we made these changes, here's what they are.
is that
I would say when you make a significant change to your site. Do you disagree with that? Am I on target with that answer? Right. Anything that you think is, hey, people should know this and it's important, that's your gauge. You got a question over here? Kelly, free tool for generating a sitemap? We'll follow up with that. If you would, just make sure Kelly has your information. We'll follow up. Good question. Put it this way. I'm sure there is, because there's a tool for everything. Just like, hey, there's an app for that. There's a tool for that somewhere. Okay. And thanks for asking that question. Now we have to get a little smarter. So good. Oh, was I here? No, I'm here. Okay. What helps with content? Social media helps with content. Those of us that were at the last seminar, we talked about social media. We talked about all those good things, okay? You want to use social media to promote your content and to get more traffic and links back to your website. One of the things we're going to talk about is how do you get backlinks? How do you get other sites to connect to your sites? How do you get people that are somewhere else to be directed back to your website? Social media is a great way to do that. And Google indexes, or Google pays attention to anything that's public, okay? And just like any other website, social media helps with that. So is social media directly SEO? No, but social media helps you build authority with Google. Strategy. Obviously, before you do anything, we recommend have a good, solid strategy. Again, not to put everyone on the spot, but I just want to get a feel for it. Who feels like they have a good strategy when it comes to their SEO? My guess is I'm going to see some of the same hands. Who feels like they're doing SEO, but they have no strategy? Anybody want to be brave or bold? And thank you. Thank you for your honesty. And who here isn't doing anything to do with SEO? And I don't know what the heck it's all about, but I hope to learn something today. Good. And again, thanks for your honesty. Again, strategy is a roadmap. Strategy is a way to help you get where you're going. Could you get there without it? It's entirely possible. But a good strategy helps you get there where you want to be, when you want to be there, and in a fashion that's expedient, okay? Here's another disclaimer, BS statement. SEO is like snake oil. Yes, there are spammy SEO services out there. There are, and when I say spammy, people are using some black hat strategy. People are doing things that can get you in trouble. People that are making certain guarantees about it. No one can guarantee how great you're going to do with SEO. No one can guarantee you're going to appear on the first page. No one can guarantee that every time you do something, it's going to be golden. But what you can do is put some things in place to help your success grow, okay? And all the ranking factors and algorithms are complex. Anyone can understand the basics of good SEO. I want to just stop for a minute. The biggest BS statement of all regarding SEO is that if you're over 30, you don't understand it, all right? And I'm not going to ask for a show of hands. I've already insulted someone without meaning to, okay? Yes, you can understand SEO if you're older. And I need you to understand one thing. What is SEO? It's marketing. It's simply about doing the right things to get the results you're looking for. It's about telling the right story to the right audience at the right time. It's using all the tools available to make that story available. It's using all the tools available so that Google thinks that you're the best person for the job, okay? So here's the thing. I will never be, big surprise, I will never be a code writer. I will never be the guy who's going to go in there and make this stuff happen. But what I can be, what you guys can be, you can be the people that ask the right questions. You can be the people that understand the basics of how it works so you can say, what are we doing to rank on this page? Tell me what we're doing here to get people to find us. Show me what we're doing so that this page lets everyone know that we're the right people for this job. And so if you're that person, we're going to give you a couple things to help with that. And you don't have to learn it all overnight, but learn a little bit. If you're the people that are actually doing the work, that are actually putting the program together, we're going to give you a couple things to just have you check yourself and make it that much better. All right? Is that fair? If we do those two things, I think we've accomplished a lot. And if we don't get all that from this presentation, pick up the phone, shoot me an email. We can sit down and talk about it. Okay? It starts with, how does strategy start always? With what? I'll give you a clue. It's on the board. Research. The first thing we do with strategy is we do some research. We need to know what we're going to build a strategy around, why we're going to do it, what's important. Okay? This is a BS statement, but I want to be careful about the BS statement. Keywords are the key to winning at SEO. It's all about just having the right keywords and then just stuffing them in. Make sure if you're going to rank for real estate Lancaster County, you put that in everything you write and you say real estate in Lancaster County is really good. Real estate in Lancaster County was started by Eugene Hoover back in the 1930s. Real estate, it's not about keyword stuffing. I know. I did it again. Okay? I meant the 1940s, 50s, 70s. Making friends everywhere I go. Okay. SEO is not just about stuffing exact keywords into your site as often as possible. There was a time people tried to do that, and they got away with it for a couple years. And then the whole world came crashing down on those people, and they were put in the penalty box, and they suffered for it. It doesn't work, number one. Number two, it'll get you in trouble. Keywords, again, I want to be clear though, keywords are important, but it's not just keywords. Keywords are the compass that sets the direction for your SEO. Keywords are important. Keywords are part of the strategy, but it's building proper content around those keywords and then making sure you put it in the right sources so that they get found. This is an exact replica of my brain. Kelly had told me when she did this, and I made that comment that it's a walnut, and I said, yes, it's an amazing coincidence. So start with understanding. Know your customers. Know your business. We start with the customers. Who is your audience? When you talk about strategy, what do you need to know? Who's your audience? What keeps them up at night? What are they searching for? What kind of problems are they having? Then the bottom line is, how do you build a strategy around knowing these things? What comes next? Okay, I know what keeps you up at night. I know what your problem is. I know what's important to you. Now what should I do? I'm looking right at you. What should I do? If I know what people's problems are and I know what's keeping them up at night, what should my strategy be? How is it, Eugene? Yeah. How is it that I can help you? What can I do to make your life better? What is it that I can do to solve your problem? What is it that I can do to answer your questions? What is it that I can do to make your life just a little bit better or more rewarding? So that's part of my strategy. What's the next part of my strategy? I have all the answers. Now what do? I need to put them in a place where people can find them. I need to make Google understand that, hey, I'm the right person that can answer these questions. I know what's keeping people awake. I know I can solve their problems. I know I can make their lives better. Now I need to make that information available so that people can find it. So that when Google looks, here it is, these are the guys. It's finding out what the pain is, showing how you can solve that problem, and then making that information available. That's SEO. Number one, start with, where do you find keywords? People ask that all the time. You would ask, what's the best tool to use to find a sitemap? What's the best tool to use to find the right keywords? Start with basics. Start with Google Autocomplete. Start typing in what you think people are searching for and see what pops up. There's also sites called Answer the Public. And what that is an answer. If you look at a specific topic on Answer the Public, it lists almost every conceivable question that people will ask about that topic. What else can you do? Back in the old days, we used to do competitive analysis. We used to check on the competition. It's never been easier to check on the competition than today. So go do a little research on the competition. See what pain they have. See what they're solving for people. See what questions they're posing. Then do a little research, refine it. Tools you can use. Google Keyword Planner. You'd asked about a sitemap tool. Google has a great tool. That's free, right? Google Keyword Planner is free. Ubersuggest is free. And then there are reports like SEMrush reports, they cost money, and Ahrefs, they're reports that cost money too. I think for both SEMrush and Ahrefs, you're going to pay about $100 a month for those. So it depends on how important it is for your company. You guys are laughing back there. I either did something stupid or did something right. Either one's a stretch. Okay. But the bottom line is decide what's important to your business, whether or not it makes sense for you to spend money on this or use the free tools. But either way, put a little time, effort, and energy into it. It's going to be worth your time in the long run. When you're putting information together, think about people's search intent. And what I mean by that is, think about the last thing you searched for. Why were you searching? Okay? Does anyone want to be a volunteer? Sir, you had a need. So what was the last thing you searched for? Do you remember? Car part. So what was your need? Chris, I needed a car part. Was it a specific car part, like for an antique car? Okay, so you had a need. Anyone else? What was the last thing you searched for? Anybody? Yes. Who's the next Joker? And what were you looking for? What was the intent of the search? Actor's name. You wanted to find something out. You wanted to know something. Okay? When people are doing a search, they generally have an intent to do a couple things. They either want to know something, they want to do something, they want to go somewhere, or they want to buy something. All right? We don't need to make it more complicated than that. So when you're doing, like when we talk about SEO, we're trying to figure out what are people looking for and how are we going to solve that problem. Example, if I'm searching for who is the strongest Avenger, I want to know something. In your case, you wanted to know who the Joker is going to be. If I'm doing something like, if I search Regal Cinemas Lancaster, what do I probably want to do? Yeah, I want to take out a small loan and take my family to the movies. Okay? If I type in Avengers comic subscription, what do I want to do? Oh, sorry, I answered the question. I'm looking to do something. I want to subscribe. I want to get in a little trouble with my wife for spending money needlessly. Okay? What about if I want to buy? I go a little bit deeper than that. I do Avengers showtimes near me. Why? Because pretty much if I'm looking for showtimes, what do I want to do? I'm done searching. I'm going to the movies. I've gotten my loan. I'm ready to go. My kids gave me the green light to see the movies. Here we go. Okay? Think about it when you're doing strategy. What's the intent? What do you want people to do? Why are they looking and how can you help them with that? Strategy 2, focus on long tail keywords. What do I mean by long tail keywords? Break it down. And I'm going to come on this side of the room. I spend too much time over here. Okay? Short tail keywords. Give you an example. If you're looking for just one specific thing, I'm looking for SEO. I'm going to type that in. There's roughly 10,000 searches a month for something like that. Because it is just specific. I want SEO information. If I'm looking at something like, or if I'm looking at a middle tail, that's 2 to 3 word phrases. There's 1,000 searches a month for this. That would be, I'm looking for an SEO company. If I'm looking at something that's a little bit more broad, I'm looking at a long tail that's 3 or 4 word phrases. That's 1,000 searches a month. It's getting much more, less than 1,000 searches a month. It's getting much more specific. I want small business SEO services. If I'm looking for that, I'm starting to narrow things down, okay? When you talk about, and I messed up when you talk about short tail, I apologize. There's a lot more than 10,000 searches a month. When you get to middle tail, it narrows down to 1,000 searches a month. When you get to really long tail, it's less than 1,000 searches a month, so you're starting to narrow things down. 1 or 2 words basically makes it a big, broad universe. When you start narrowing it down to certain things, that starts to eliminate the tire kickers. Okay? So long tail essentially is where you're starting to narrow it down and people are more specific. So it depends on what your goal is. Do you just want a lot of traffic? Or are you starting to cast a really broad net to see what you can hook? Or are you starting to really narrow it down to look at people that are searching specifically for your business? So sorry I butchered that. Are we okay with the definition of this? Okay. And what makes a good keyword? Good keywords should be relevant to your business. Good keywords should have fairly high search volume, so there's more potential traffic. Whenever possible, a good keyword has low competition. And you want to take into account what's the cost per click. Meaning, are people willing to pay a lot of money for it? If they are, it's probably a fairly valuable term. And if you're doing an organic search with a keyword that has really high commercial value, that's probably a pretty good one. We're going to talk about on-page SEO here, and we're going to get a little specific. We're going to show you an example of a client that we work with. We're going to show you what some of the coding looks like. We're going to show you what the search engine results page looks like, and we're going to show you what it looks like on the actual page. I'm going to say this. If you're someone that has never looked at code before, if you're someone that doesn't really know how this goes, please don't just gloss over and say it's just too much. We're going to try and break it down very simply, and I'll go through it quickly. So I'm going to try not to put people to sleep. If you're someone that is in there making the coding on this, someone that's putting in the keywords, take a look at it. If we can give you 1 or 2 tidbits here, great. Okay? One of the things too, again, just remember, SEO is a very detailed process, but essentially it's doing a bunch of things correctly. It's following a process. It's making sure that you put this process together and you do all these parts correctly. Okay, so we'll go to this. I was going to refer to the other slide. That's okay. This is a client of ours, River Valley Recreation. These guys, among other things, design playground equipment. They do it for municipalities, they do it for big buildings, they do it for playgrounds. When we talk about this and you're looking at doing a search result, like if you're typing in looking for playground equipment, this is an example of what comes up. These guys are ranking #1 because we're doing a lot of things right. They show up for this. Okay, so this is what you'll see when you do a search. Okay, when you click on the page, when you click on that link, thanks, Kelly, this is the page that will come up. Okay? And again, what's right across the heading? Playground Planning and Design Services. Okay? Can we go back to the original slide? We're going to talk about a couple things. Title tags. Title tags is the title page that appears on the SERP, which is the search engine results page. It's right at the top of the web browser, okay? If you want to know, like if you're on your website and you want to know what that is, what's in there, what it looks like, all you need to do, does everyone know how to do this? All you need to do is go to any white space on your web page and right-click it, all right? Who's done that before? So a bunch of us. For those of us that haven't, this is all you do. Go to any white space here and click on it, and this is what comes up. It says View Page Source. It's a bunch of different things. In View Page Source, this is essentially the code. Bless you. This is essentially the code you look at. And this is, if you want to know what's my title, this is the title. That's what's going to show up in the top of a search engine results page. Okay? So again, if you're the person that is doing this, take a look at it, and this is where you see exactly what that title page is. We're going to talk about what makes it good, what makes it bad in a couple minutes. So if you're the person doing it, this is what you look at, and this is what you want to change, update, audit, take a look at. If you're the person that is just advising on this, these are the questions you ask. Say, look, if we look in this and we're looking at this kind of coding, what shows up there and how does Google know what this page is all about? All right, does that make sense? Don't want to get too geeky, don't want to get too mundane for those of us doing it. Okay, thanks. So the next slide, whoops, can we go to the, if we go to the slides again? Okay, so that would be a title tag. In code, this is what you see. On the results page, that's what you see. Whoops, and it doesn't show up on your website, okay? It's in code. Whoops. Next one is the meta description. This is the page description that appears on your search engine results page. It's not necessarily a ranking factor, but this is what the code looks like. So can we go back to it? Meta description is what you... Meta description is what you see here. It's basically saying what the company wants you to know. So if you're looking to have people find you based on this information, that's where the meta description comes in. Go back. Yes.
That page, rivervalleycreation.com, what we do, is not necessarily the homepage of the website, is it?
No.
So you're getting to a specific landing page based on the search phrase? Is that correct?
That's correct. It's basically taking you to the information you want on the page you want versus just putting you on the website where you then have to find it from there. It's taking you directly there.
So if you'd have different landing pages, eventually you'd want to tie them with, I'm not going to say the words right, but the meta phrases that you're talking about to search phrases. I'm just trying to keep up.
Yes, and it's not necessarily a landing page. Yeah, it is a page within the website. So yeah, you want to tie it in so that if people are looking for this information, they don't want to land on your website, then have to search for it. They're going directly to this spot on your website.
So this philosophy applies to the different pages on
Yes,
your
it does. It applies to all the pages on your website. Good. Okay. Okay. And then let's go back to the slides. So again, here's the meta information, and this is what it's all about. This tells you the different things within the website. And again, to find this, just go on your website, right-click it, and the information's available. Okay? Yes.
Rather than scroll down by eye, you can use the control F, type in meta.
Okay. Did everybody hear that? Just like Bob and Kelly said, another way to do this is type in Control 5, and Control F, I'm sorry, and you'll go right to it. Cool. All right, let's go back to the slides. So meta description. Next is your headers. Whoops. Subject headings basically explain what the page is all about, okay? And if you're looking at this in code, you're going to see playground planning and design services. That's called an H1 tag. That's what you consider to be the most important thing on the page, the big description there. And then there's H2 tags, which are basically like the subheadings of that, okay? And on the website, you're going to see, again, that, and you're going to put down you're going to see our process. So it helps guide you through to what you're looking for. Okay. Body copy. This is basically the regular information on your site. This is the paragraph text that tells you more information about what you're looking for. And again, on the website, you see whether you're replacing an old playground or want to create a whole new look, that's the basic body. Again, all these help with searches. It helps guide the search engines to your page. And lastly, images. Images are the pictures on your website. In code, you essentially want to make sure you code what the picture is all about. Why? Google can't read a picture. Google can't look at a picture and know what it is, so what you want to do is through code, you let Google know exactly what the picture is all about. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. And then lastly, hyperlinks. Hyperlinks are actual links inside your site. to help direct you to other areas inside your site to get people to where they're looking to go a little quicker. Okay, thank you, Kelly. And then part of what we're going to talk about too, make sure you optimize content. If you guys are doing any content, make sure it's optimized. And you look at the titles, you look at meta information, headers, body copy. All these are part of what helps to optimize your site, and just say no to keyword stuffing, okay? You don't want to just stuff keywords in there. So best practices, make your titles and metas compelling. You want to encourage clicks. Good title tags are generally between 50 and 60 characters. Meta descriptions are up to 130 characters, and you want to keep one H1 or one main concept per page, okay? Lastly, if we look at, like if we're doing audits of websites nowadays, I'll tell you, and I've met with a couple of you guys and I've talked about it before, one of the number one things we see that are a problem are images that are either not optimized or not compressed, meaning they're set up in a way that was designed for a desktop version. They're not necessarily set up in the format for a phone format. One thing you need to keep in mind, Google cannot read an image. Google can't look at it. One of the things we're starting to see, has anyone talked about ADA compliance in websites with you? Anyone ever heard of that? One of the biggest ones, and I'm not saying people are up to no good, but there's always someone looking for a company with some deep pockets where if they can lean on you a little bit and get a couple bucks out of you. ADA compliance is something that's very real, something that's happening right now, and something we all need to pay attention to. One of the best, easiest things you should do first is start to optimize images and make sure that they're ADA compliant. It shows that you're willing to work a little bit, that you're not looking to just ignore the problem, and the way it works is very simple. In your code, you want to let Google, you want to let search engines know what the picture is all about. So that, and here's how it goes to ADA. If someone has a device that is reading them what the website is all about, again, that device can't read a picture. That device can read the code about what the picture is all about. So in code, it's going to say, the alt tag here is Kermit with upside down book, distressed by illiteracy. So again, it can't read what that picture is. It can read that code, and it can tell the user what the picture is all about. Okay. And URLs. Use readable URLs. People should know what to expect when they click. Here's examples of bad, better, best. I'm going to come on this side again for this. A bad URL is something that says http hub07 EZMarketing.com. Why is that bad? Yeah, what does it mean? No one knows what it is. Better would be https EZMarketing.com blog post. What is that about? Blog post. We're getting a little better. It talks about a blog post. Best would be blog, so you know it's a blog, EZMarketing.com, writing good title tags and meta description. So good, better, best, these are the things you want to look for to help optimize your site. Make your URLs readable, recognizable, something that Google can sink their teeth into. Part of strategy 2, part of OnPage, create logical site structures. We talked about having the best website you can have. One of the things Google looks for, one of the things people look for is something that makes sense, something that tells the right story, something that's easy to navigate. For us, we would have, here's our homepage, this is EZMarketing. What do we want people to know about when they visit EZMarketing? We do websites, we do marketing, we do SEO. Easy to find. If someone clicks on websites, what do they want to know about websites? Do you have small business websites? Do you do custom websites? Are they e-commerce websites? If there's marketing, there's social media, Google Ads, email, traditional. SEO, you have traditional SEO. Is it local SEO? Google My Business. So organize your content around key topics you want to be known and add internal links back to your money pages, which would be websites, marketing, SEO. A couple BS statements, a whole lot of technical BS. You don't need to worry about optimizing for mobile. Nothing could be further from the truth. I won't ask anyone for a show of hands, but if you have a website right now that is not responsive, if you have a website that is not set up for mobile and you've not optimized it for mobile, you are not only just not being competitive, you are hurting yourself, okay? I won't ask for a show of hands, but if someone is telling you your site just isn't what it should be, you need to upgrade your site because it's not responsive, they're not just telling you something to try and sell you a website. You need to have a mobile responsive website. And you've got to optimize it specifically for mobile. Don't need to check for broken links. Broken links are killers. If you've got some broken links, they're hurting you. Does everyone remember who was here last time? How do you check for broken links? Anyone know the free tool for that? It's called deadlinkchecker.com. It's a free tool. Anyone can go on it. You go on the site. They give you a little thing to tell them that you're not a robot. Copy and paste your URL, put it in there, and it'll tell you right away if you have any broken links. Real simple, real easy. And speed is not that important for SEO. You've heard the expression since you were a little kid that speed kills. When it comes to your website, what kills? Slow kills. It's not speed that kills, slow kills. Your site has to be fast. Your site has to be, hang on. Man, I really went past stuff. Meeting adjourned. And having HTTPS on the site is only important for e-commerce. When we talked about right-clicking in the area, does everyone know what this S stands for in HTTPS? Who wants to tell? Secure. And people will say, and I've heard companies say, you don't understand, you only need that if you're taking credit card payment online, if you've got an e-commerce site. Google is looking for security. That S stands for secure. It means that your site is, now everything gets hacked, but it just means that you're taking steps to avoid your site being hacked. You're being responsible. You're trying to protect information. Stacy. Hypertext, hang on. Thank you. Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It's language, it's coding. It's basically, this is the type of coding that we've written. This is the language that it's written in, okay? Does it mean anything? It does if you're a coder. For us, you just need to make sure, in our end, again, and I'm not saying you need to be a coder, but you need to look in there and see if there's an S at the end of all those HTTPs. If you've got it, that's a good start. If you don't, you need to ask questions. Yes. And again, does it mean that it's going to cripple you? Does it mean you're automatically hacked? No, but do you know who is wary of those sites that don't have the S at the end? Google. And more, even if you can say they're not penalizing these sites, it goes into ranking factors. It goes into, if they have a choice of, all things being equal, we have Jonathan's site or we have my site, but yours is a secure site, where's Google going to send someone? Because Google doesn't care that Chris is the best guy in the world. Google only knows I need to send someone to the best choice, and that best choice should start with security. I know he's safe. I don't know if he is. Okay? Lost my clicker, lost my glasses, lost my water. But other than that, I'm doing good. Off-page SEO. We talked about what's on page, meaning all the things that are on your website. These are things that are not on your website, but help with your SEO, help with your ranking. Build backlinks. And backlinks are essentially someone else's site saying, if you want more information, or if you want to find things out, or hey, here's another source for you to use, a backlink is essentially a vote for your website. Okay? A backlink is saying that, look, here, you're here, thank you for being here, here's some information. If you want to know more about this, or you want to check something else out, go to this site. Okay? Backlinks are a big deal regarding SEO. Backlinks are a big deal in terms of authority with Google. Yes?
Do you have any recommendations on how to acquire more backlinks? Like, is there a strategy?
There is, and we actually will talk about it in a couple slides. Great question. The question was, do you have strategy to acquire more backlinks? Yeah, and everything you can do to make backlinks or to create backlinks is a big deal. In the old days, you used to hear this expression all the time. this guy knows everybody. Oh, Chris DeMeo, he knows everybody. And you know, oh, Chris DeMeo knew this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy. What's more important than Chris DeMeo knowing everybody? Everybody knows me. And when you talk about backlinks, that's what we're talking about. It's not just about who you know, it's about who knows you. And that's what we're trying to create. And yes, I'm going to answer your question hopefully in a little bit. So ranking factors. What's important about backlinks? Number of links. The more the better, as long as they're well-known, authoritative, not considered spammy. For a while there was strategies, guys were using, I'm going to say black hat strategies, where they would have lots of backlinks all over. They had all these different sites that linked back and forth, and a lot of them were what we'd consider spammy sites. They were suspect sites. Some of them were porn sites. Some of them were, you know, just sites they made up just to create backlinks from. And Google doesn't get fooled by that. Google's looking for real sites, real authority. Okay, link diversity. So number of links, well-known authoritative sites, a variety of sources, so you're not just one-dimensional, and link relevance. Okay, they need to make sure that they're related pages, so they're in the same realm. They're not just obscure, odd sites that you link to. How do you get backlinks? I'm glad you asked. Okay, a couple different ways. The best way is they're just natural links because you have great products. You have great content. You're doing things that are worthwhile. You're doing things that are helpful. You're answering all the questions that your people have. People are, were you trying to get a picture of me? Okay. You're answering the questions that people have. So people are just linking to you automatically because you've got great information. Then there's self-created links. Self-created links are a really good strategy, and that's where you submit to online directories. Like you make sure that everyone knows through all the different, and we'll talk about it in a minute, all the different search engines know who you are. You submit to directories, forums, you do press releases, you contact sites. Like, is anyone here a member of an association? Maybe you try and have the association link back to you. Maybe you submit articles to the association. You talk about news stories, different things. Anything you can do to say, hey, look, this is about us. Those can create good self-created links. And then there's manual link building. This is another link building outreach strategy. That's where you form relationships with industry influencers and you ask for backlinks. Okay. Maybe it's there as a leading, what business are you in?
We're an
Accounting firm. Maybe there's a leading authority on new tax reform. And everyone in the industry follows this person. And if you need to know anything about tax reform, this is the person to go to. If you submit information to him and ask him to link to you, that could be a good strategy, something like that. Someone who already has a following, someone who is well regarded in your industry. It's a great way to do that. And you talk about outreach, influencer marketing. Who does your audience listen to? Meaning, who else are they following besides you? See if you can form a relationship with those people, those websites, those industries, and build relationships. So make sure that you follow their information, read them, comment on them, post them. Make sure they're paying attention. Submit content for them. And so again, you talk about guest posting. Say, hey, look, I know you're a leading authority on this. Here's something we did that you might find interesting. Or here's something that your audience may like. Here's another way to look at this. Finding broken links on their website so you can point out a couple things they could be doing better. And ask them to share your content when it's relevant. Again, if you've got a great piece of information and you can connect with someone and they're a voice of authority, there's nothing wrong with asking them to share your information with their audience. That helps build relevance for you, helps build backlinks to you. Another BS statement, social media doesn't matter for SEO. Bless you. There is a strong correlation between social media activity and SEO performance, okay? It's not a direct link, it's not a direct ranking factor, but it helps build authority, okay? You need to leverage social media. Who here is using social media in their business? Great. So this is not the crowd that's saying, well, I don't need social media, Chris, you don't understand. Our people are not going to buy our product because they go on Facebook. That's not the idea. The idea is to help build authority to your site by using this as an off-page strategy, okay? You want to try and grow your audience, get more web traffic, and get more views, shares, and links to your content. Other link building strategies, other things that are important. How many people in the room do business locally? And by locally, within, I don't know, a couple hours, okay? Most of us. Who here is doing business nationally? Internationally? Good. If you're local, you need to use local SEO strategies. If you're international, you still need to use local SEO and add a couple other components to it, okay? 46% of Google searches have a local intent, okay? You want to make sure that customers nearby are able to find you online. People need to be able to see you. They need to know who you are and what you do. They need to know how to get in touch with you. Local search also builds trust with search engines, okay? We talked about SEO, what it's all about. With local search engines, your job is to convince them that you are who you say you are, what you say you are, and where you say you are, okay? Google My Business is a great way to do it. If you are a local business, if you are a brick and mortar location, if you are a business that relies on street traffic, you've got to be involved in Google My Business. You just have to be. Why? Who owns Google My Business? GMB. Google. And Stacy, what does Google love above all else? Google. Google loves Google above all else. Who does Google trust more than anyone else? Google. So you've got to be part of it. And make sure, too, has anyone in here ever talked to you about, or does anyone have local directory listings? Does everyone know what I'm talking about with that? Who has that? Good. We've talked about that being one of the foundations of local SEO, and basically it's convincing all of the search engines, all of the aggregators, and we'll talk about it more in a minute, that again, you are who you say you are legitimate, you are brick and mortar. You've got to start there with trust, okay? To find out if you're doing that well, whether or not you've got inconsistencies, we've got a free scanning tool. You can go right on our website and do this. EZMarketing.com, digital, it's in your packets. And we have in parentheses, this is the simplified local search ecosystem. It is somewhat complicated. Where does it start? Like, how does Google, how do search engines know that your information is accurate, that it's correct, that you are a legitimate business? It starts with 4 primary aggregators. And these are essentially big sites that verify information, and Google says these guys are legitimate. If they put information out, we generally trust it. It's Factual, Infogroup, Axiom, Newstar, and they basically take the information, verify it, and they distribute it to hundreds of local business directories. And some you've heard of, some you haven't. The more popular ones, YP.com, Yelp, Facebook, City Search. They then send it out to other major search engines. And again, some you've heard of, some you haven't, but it starts with these. And the bottom line is, guys, you've got to check these. You've got to make sure they're right. If they're right today, it doesn't mean they're going to be right tomorrow. Stacy.
Wait, this may be like a background minute, because like that I'm saying, how do we end up with all of these places that we never asked to be with? What I'm
Where did it come from?
Misinformation. So not all the information is accurate about
Yes.
what we do and all of those kind of things. So the second part of that is then how do you go about cleaning
How do you clean them up? There's 2 ways to clean. I'll start with how do they get that way. There are hundreds and hundreds of these, and they all supply information that they say is correct. And it's here's what my business is. This is what we do. This is my address. This is my phone number. These are my hours of operation, and they feed off each other to get this information. And often they start here. And the idea is that these are supposed to be right all the time, and then they get fed here. How did they get there? Or how do you fix them? One of 2 ways. Number one, they have these robots, they have these crawlers that are always searching the web, pulling this information in. So as long as all of the information that you've put out there on you is correct, these in theory should all be correct. But what could happen is someone could post something about you. Someone could do a review. Someone could go on there and put wrong information. And if that information is wrong, all of these other sources feed off each other. So sometimes they feed off the correct information. Sometimes they feed off the incorrect information. So when I talk about if something's, if it's all right all the time, they'll continue to feed and get the right information. If a couple of them are messed up, they can feed off and get the wrong information. So if I ask you and you tell me something wrong, and then I tell you and I tell you the wrong information again, then you tell him and it's the wrong information, it gets corrupted and it's all wrong, okay? So to fix it, you can do one of two things. You whisper down the lane. You can do one of two things to fix that. Number one, you can go to every one of these individually, go in, and it's true, and it's tedious. And you can just go in and correct the information, check it, make sure it's right. There's a field you can update information. You show you're someone authorized to do that, and you fix them. Unfortunately, you can do that, and they can all be wrong again in a short period of time. It's just how it is. Way number two is you can pay a company that has software tools that put the information in correctly, and then the software constantly crawls the web, finds these things, and checks it and makes it right again. So it is important. It is something you have to do. It is something that's a pain in the rear end, but it's an important part of local search, and you have to do it. Does that help? Okay, and it's the foundation of local search, local SEO, because in order for Google to recommend you, what do they have to know about you? You are who you say you are. You're where you say you are, you do what you say you are. It's a big part of search. And part of that too, reviews matter. Some of the wrong information can come from reviews. Reviews matter. 97% of consumers read online reviews for local businesses. Does anyone in here try out something new and not look for reviews first? It's rare. Everyone checks it out, you do reviews. 86% of people will hesitate to purchase from a business that has negative reviews. Is anyone here different? Is anyone in here just a pioneer and you say, I don't care if it's bad, I'm going there. I'm going to see for myself. I don't believe it. And 88% of consumers trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. In the olden days, just a few years ago, when you wanted to find something out, you'd go to your friend and say, hey, tell me about that. What did you think about it? Nowadays, and it was you talk to your neighbor over the fence. Nowadays, how do you find that out? You Google it. You find out. Or you have little groups that you hang out with. My wife has the Moms Network in the neighborhood. And it's like everyone that's we live in Silver Heights is our little development. And you need a handyman. You talk to the ladies in Silver Heights, like the Moms Network. We want to get the face painted. We needed a dishwasher. We're looking at, what van should we get? All different things. And we don't make a move in the DeMeo house. Well, I don't make a move till my wife gives me the green light. We don't make a move in the DeMeo house until we check that network and we look at the reviews. And you know what? It's accurate. And we trust it. And it's become a trusted source. And everyone's kind of looking out for each other, and we all know to do it. In the old days, we might have sat down and had a cup of coffee with our neighbors. Nowadays, what's everybody doing? Just running. They see me, I'm waving as I'm going to soccer with one of my kids. Not sure which one, whoever's in the back seat.
The volume of reviews is important too.
Great.
Like if I see somebody that's got 2 or 3 reviews and I see somebody else that's got 100, I'm going to trust the 100 more. You've got more credible information in volume.
Exactly. Because if they've got 2 reviews, great point. You're absolutely right. And if you have 2 reviews, who do you think it is? My mom likes me. My mom had good things to say about me, so you're absolutely right. And does every review have to be perfect? No, it helps. It does lend a little credibility. If there's only 5 and every one of them is perfect and every one of them says Joe E., Lancaster, PA, what do you think about that? Are we all skeptics here? Are we all Lancaster County skeptics? Yeah, probably. If you see, sir? Great question. Have a seminar and ask everyone in the room to give you a review. That's one way. Just saying. Okay. Do good work, number one. How do you get good reviews? You got to earn them. You talk to your kids. How do you get a friend? Be a friend. sometimes, I'm going to come back to you. Sometimes it helps too if, hey, do a review for somebody else. No strings attached. Just do a review for someone else and maybe they'll do it for you. And also, if you do a good job for someone, I think it's okay to ask them for a review. And you don't have to make it, and I'm not just going to say it's a good job. Let me say this. You should ask someone for a review because it helps you. And I think at that point, if you've done a good job for someone, Tom, you've earned it. You know, you build a piece of furniture for someone and they tell you, oh my gosh, this was so great. I love it in my house. I had a dinner party and everyone raved over it. What should the next words out of your mouth be? Well, two things. Number one, say, thank you. Number two, hey, listen, I'm a business like a lot of places, and most of my business is word of mouth. Word of mouth nowadays is reviews. Would you mind saying that on Google? If you can, send them a link. Make it as easy as possible, but ask them for a review. You have earned the right to ask for a review. Who here is uncomfortable asking for a review? I am. You see how tough it was for me. But it's hard to do. It's much easier for me to ask for a review for the business than maybe it is for you where it's your work. Like that's something I built myself, but you've earned it more than anyone else. So ask for it. It may be a little bit uncomfortable, but people will do it for you. And again, don't ask them to write a paragraph. If someone says something like, hey, you know what, that was great, it was informative, I appreciate it. Hey, thanks for saying that. Would you mind just posting that for me? Keep it simple. If you ask them for a huge letter of recommendation and endorsement, would you guys make a video for me? It gets tough, but ask for reviews. Did you?
I would say ask for it because I've done it.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's mostly the good people that, you know, they're jumping for joy. And it's like, you know, put a review on Facebook for them. Oh, sure. Yes, absolutely. I'll do it.
Yeah. And Nathan, I've seen your work. You've earned the right to ask for a review. Best thing you can do good work. Second best thing you can do, ask for it. People will do it. People want to help you. Of course they do. People are inherently helpful. But if you don't ask, you're not going to get. Tom.
What's the best place for them to do a review?
Great.
You said Facebook.
Yeah. And it is, it depends on your business. If you're food and beverage, if you're hospitality, it's probably Yelp. Your furniture. Facebook was a good one. Pinterest is a good one. Say again? TripAdvisor for you guys. So it depends a little bit on your business, but somewhere is better than nowhere. So I'm going to say I don't know that there's one set place that's best for reviews. It depends on where they found you, how they found you, what business you're in, what you want it to be for. You know, with you, if you talk about someone who does a review and they're showing the piece of furniture, Facebook's a good one. Pinterest is probably a great one. Depends. But again, depends on the industry.
Do you find that reviews are equally important for B2B versus B2C?
Did everyone hear that? Not everyone's loudmouth like me. The question is, do we feel that reviews are equally as important for B2B as B2C? I'm going to say absolutely yes, and I see a lot of heads nodding. Absolutely. They all matter because who are you doing business with? Yes, you're business to business, but who is business comprised of? People. And what do they have to do? They got to get it right. And it's one of two things. I have to get it right because if I don't get it right, I'm going to be in trouble with my boss. If I don't get it right, I'm not going to bring in money for the company. If I don't get it right, I'm letting people down. So yeah, they're equally as important, and you should be asking. Should be asking. And yeah, reviews are important because don't you guys do a little research, even B2B, before you do business with a company? I do. Yes.
I was just going to say, like, I would say 95% of our calls that we get in are people that Google us and read our reviews, and that's why they go with us.
Yeah. Did everyone hear that? 90% of people that they do business with have already done a little research, have looked at reviews, and have done business. And if you don't have reviews, or you only have a couple reviews, or you've got crappy reviews, you don't know who's not doing business with you. That's the scary part. You know who's there. And again, ask for them. I'm going to say that if you don't make a concerted effort to ask for them, you're not going to get them. Okay, let's talk tracking and measuring quickly. We're rounding home here, rounding third. When you talk about tracking, a couple things you should look at. Number one, are you doing things right? How do you find out if you're doing things right? They're execution metrics. Execution metrics, organic traffic, backlink profiles, referral traffic, and keyword performance. How do you find this stuff out? Does everyone know? Let's talk about it. I'll go to another slide first. I transitioned wrong. Google Analytics, and we'll talk about it. Next thing you want to track, are you doing the right things? Number one, are you doing things right? Number two is, let's go a little deeper. Like, okay, you're generating traffic, you've got things going, people are visiting your site, but are you generating leads? Are the leads good quality? You know, the key isn't how many leads can I get? The key is what? How many good leads can I get? How many people actually want to talk to me? And what's equally and probably more important than people that want to talk to me? Who do you want to talk to? Who do I want to talk to? Are they the right people? Are they people that you can help? So lead gen, lead quality, conversion rates. Like, okay, these leads are coming in. Are they turning into sales? Are they taking the next step? And we can talk about conversion. Conversion isn't always sales. Conversion is them taking the next step, you progressing something in the process. And revenue, estimated revenue, and one of the things when we talk about estimated revenue, a lead and a sale isn't just necessarily, I made this much money on this one sale. Is it a customer that has lifetime value? Meaning, are they going to continue to buy things? Are they going to continue to do business with you? So a way to look at things, Google Analytics, okay? And in Google Analytics, we track things like, number one, acquisition, meaning how many people did we acquire? How many people came in and looked at our site? How many people were looking at things? Channels. Of all the people that came through to look at our site, how many came to us through organic search? How many of them came to us directly, meaning that they weren't just searching, they went directly to our site so they knew who we were as soon as they got online? How many came from paid? How many were referred from social media? How many were referred from a different website? And then other, like there's lots of other channels out there. So part of your analytics will determine what the acquisition is and the channels. Other Google Analytics will show you, again, number of channels, number of leads over time. How many users did you have? How many were new users? How many sessions were there? And we remember from last time the difference between a user and a session. A user is a unique individual. A session is how many times they've come back and looked around, okay? And then this will tell you from time periods like from last year to this year, are you up, are you down? How many people are you up that are new users? How many people are people returning? All these things are important to let you know what kind of work you're doing, okay? Google Analytics, this particular thing will tell you where the traffic came from. One thing you want to look at too, everyone should take a look at Google Search Console. The difference is Google Search Console will tell you what words they used, whether they be short tail, long tail, what words they used to find you. Not just where they came from, but how specifically, what they typed in to find you to get to your site. And here this is one of our clients, just so happens is Heidler Roofing. X number of people found us by typing in directly Heidler Roofing. X number of people found them by typing in commercial roofing materials. X number of people found them by typing in commercial roof types. So when we look at this data, what are the things this is telling us? What are the things we should focus on? When we're doing blogging, when we're doing words, when we're doing copy, these are words that we should include in there. These are words we should build topics around, okay? So again, should we keyword stuff based on this? Should we keyword stuff commercial roof types? No, but maybe we do an article on commercial roof types. Maybe we talk to some magazines, some architectural firms that are doing articles on or looking for information on different types of roofs. Maybe we submit information there. Okay. What did I miss? Did I miss a slide? Oh, Google Search Console, again, talks about different ways to get there. It also will tell you search terms, and will also tell you how many clicks for each search term and where they came from. Google My Business will tell you too how many people found you directly, meaning that this will give you an idea of all the total searches, 2296, how many of them came directly, meaning that they found you through listings and they They just knew who you were by typing in your name, and how many people found you because they were searching a specific category or product or service. Okay? Or how many people found you through a related brand. They were just looking general terms and found you that way. Coming to the home stretch, the BS. One other thing too, SEO. It's not something that you do once. We talk to people all the time that say, yeah, a guy came in and he did SEO for me 6 months ago, I should be good. No, SEO doesn't work that way. The guy may have come in and put together some SEO strategy. The guy may have come in and made some updates. The guy may have made a couple corrections. He may have improved your situation a little bit. But SEO is made of organic search, organic growth. It never stops, guys. You never stop doing SEO. You never stop questioning. You never stop adding. You never stop improving. It's constantly changing, and it's not a short-term game. There's no magic formula. There's no magic potion. There's no such thing as, well, I did this, this, and this, now we're good to go. No. You constantly have to evolve. So to recap, I'm tired. How about you guys? Say, I got a tough day today. I have this seminar, and then I'm going directly from here to play golf. So it's a tough day. It's a charity event, so it's okay. SEO. It's critical for your business. If you want to get found online, you've got to do search engine optimization. It's not enough to say, I've got a good website, I've got a good reputation, people know who I am. No. You've got to do some SEO to help. Depending on your business, how much traffic you want, what the competition's like, how busy you want to be, depends on how much you're going to do, but you've got to do some. And search engines are smarter than ever. So they do understand context, they understand intent, they understand narrowing down to location. With that said, though, that doesn't mean that because search engines are smarter, that you get a pass, that now I can be lazier. I don't have to do as much because the search engines are smart. No, it means that even though they're smarter, we have to find ways to get found, knowing that they're smarter, knowing what they're looking for, knowing what they find. And good SEO involves solid keyword research, and you have to work for both on-page and off-page best practices. And small businesses especially need to build trust with local SEO. If you're a small business, if you're local, you're relying on local people, you want foot traffic, you want phone traffic, you want form fill traffic, email traffic, you've got to do local SEO. And Google has a lot of free tools to help you measure SEO. They can let you know if you're doing it right, if you're doing it wrong. You don't have to spend a fortune to get this information. But the key is, find the information, use the information to your advantage so you can get a little bit better, a little smarter, drive a little more traffic. And don't listen to any SEO BS, okay? Hopefully I didn't give you too much BS. And if you guys aren't sure, you can always Google it and see, what's this all about, see how it works. Or pick up the phone and call me. I tell people this, I'm going to shoot straight with you. I may not always tell you what you want to hear. In fact, I'm looking around the room. There's lots of times I tell people things they don't want to hear, but I will always tell you what I believe, and I will always tell you what I think is in your best interest, all right? From there, it's up to you, okay? But don't listen to a lot of junk about it. Also, don't believe that you don't understand it, you can't figure it out, it's beyond your grasp. No, it isn't. You just have to slow down, break it down, and do certain things right to help build SEO. Thank you. Do we have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
I have a question going back to images on your website.
Okay.
And tagging them for, so that they don't just have the name of the photo, the JPEG.
Yes.
Like you don't want it to say BS one or.
No.
But, so in our marketing, we're very image heavy. We have a
Good.
lot of photos. Our website is full of photos. We have photo galleries. And do I need to, it's very time consuming to label every photo. I know that it would say something like fitness underscore centers underscore Lancaster underscore PA underscore. Do I have to do, after we do every photo shoot, we pick out our best photos and then we upload them to the media library of our website and we downsize all the photos for speed time. Do I have to label all the photos with that or just the ones that we choose to have appear publicly on the page?
You have to do all the photos plus all the photos of everyone else in the room.
It's just like the most time-consuming thing
Yes.
we could it's all
And-
manual.
and
It's all
Yeah, and I'm going to say you should do as many that are relevant as you can. Start with the most important ones and get them done. And as you change them, I think it is important to tag them, especially because in any business, photos are a big deal. In any business, photos have rank value. Photos are important to Google. Photos are things people pay attention to. So do you have to do every one? Different schools of thought. Do as many as you can that make sense. I'm going to tell you that it's like any other form of content. Put as much content on there as is relevant to your audience and as is relevant to what you're trying to accomplish. All right, do you need one for every time Elmer turns 90? No, but you want to have the money ones in there, the ones that are the most relevant to what you're doing, and get as many as you can.
Yeah, so I guess what I'm asking is Google recognizing the images that are just live, or is it recognizing the images that are also hidden in like an image library too on the site?
It is recognizing the images in the library. Yes. And does it hold as much weight? Not necessarily, but it is looking at them. It is part of ranking factors. Again, as long as they're relevant, as long as that information is good and it's helping tell the story of what you want to tell. Okay, and we can talk more about that. That's probably worth a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Okay. Other questions? Yes. A few. All right, I'm ready.
So I started keyword mapping for my website, and actually I use SEMrush and
Good.
finding the keywords for each page. How long would it take for me to kind of see results? Will those results fluctuate before I need to re-strategize?
Great. And the question is, how long will it take to see results? Here's a great answer. Depends. It depends on how competitive your industry is. It depends on how much information you have out there. But SEO is something that you can't put out there and then expect in a month, well, where's all my traffic? We tell people it takes 6 to 9 months before you really start to see something. And I'll tell you that it can take years to really get value. Most people, though, are starting to see some results 6 to 9 months. That doesn't mean, though, that you don't start tracking it after month 1. It doesn't mean that you just forget about it and leave it there and leave it alone. Pay attention to it and see what's generating traffic, see where you're getting traction, see what the competition's doing. Pay attention to SEMrush. Pay attention to some of Google's tools. It sounds like you're off to a very good start. And I'll say stay the course. Don't lose faith. But be a little flexible so that you can be a little nimble so that you can move some things around. But it takes time to build. Okay? You said it several. Okay. I'm a little intimidated, but I'll handle it. Okay.
I noticed it on the slide, but you didn't really kind of talk about it, the schema markups. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yes. Schema is essentially code that you put on it's coding that one search engine uses essentially to speak to another. Schema is essentially something that explains what you want the search engines to know. So it's basically how robots communicate with each other. I mean, that's the long and short answer of it, but it's basically coding that a search engine uses to speak to another search engine. And schema is important because more and more searches are done by bots, by RankBrain, by different algorithms that figure things out, but it's the simplest, most effective way it's just like if you're at a party and you run into someone that speaks French and you speak French. Oh, we understand French. It's kind of like that with schema. Like search engines like it because they speak the same language.